flow is like incest with degenerates. Fucking stupid and fine of interest as I interject. I moonwalk in my boots, footsteps when I'm on set. Smooth predator boarding the mothership for conquest, cause I'm next. I'm sorry if I'm too witty, ain't a screw loose, so try to fix something to do with me as I cruise the beat with fluency of what's true to be. And truthfully, I miss the way that it used to be. You say you gifted, had to prove it, beat. Set a date, step up to the plate and seize opportunity. Let the viewers of the music see me pay hip-hop gratuity as I chew the beat, influencing UMCs with microphone fever. Married to the
Alright, we're back with the bloody turbo. So, I was going to do this out of alloy, but I have piping. So I've decided I want to do the intake out of stainless, because why the fuck not? I have it, save money, then we just got to buy an intercooler piping kit. I don't have a 4-inch coupler, so I'm probably just gonna have to hold it and mock it up. But we're gonna do the intake, 4-inch, literally the angle that I have left, I believe, is perfect just to get it down to about here. And then I'm gonna cut a hole straight through here, straight out the back. And we'll have a pole filter sitting here with some fresh air feeding it from there. Nice and easy. So well, basically, we'll just have to clean up this cut, get this to here, figure out a length of this, steal that pod filter, put that there, weld that there, intake done. Cut that there. Isn't that right, Jay? Something like that. So, obviously in the last one, I made this fancy little shenanigans. Came out pretty fucking good. There is like a... What is that? What is this? What is this? Stuck. Well, anyway. This. Came out nice. There's a hole in the wood. Semi fucked up me hole. Put a guard on when you mark it with how I did it, but oh no, there's a hole. You can go pop, 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 shoot flames. So anyway, let's do some intake and some intercooler stuff. Alright, we got a nice cymbal pipe to wheel together. Doesn't matter the direction because I can turn it. But theoretically, this come in, down there, have a small gap there for a hose clamp because if it's tight it can rattle and figgity. And then we're down here. So I will be cutting with a hole saw, essentially. Well, you see the headlight and the blinker, basically right between there. Don't fully know how yet, because if it was dead center of this, it'd be easy to sort of plan and mock up, but it's not. It's slightly over, like here. So we get it welded together and make some marks, and then literally just hole saw straight through. Straight through.
Starry skies leave me sorry eyed, like sorry I didn't do what I gotta do to make sure we fortified as a unit, but don't leave me mortified. If you'd have kept it 100, a brother would be more than fine. Gave you more than time, gave you some peace of mind. That's why I got some qualms about the way you treated mine. You came close to doing damage to my third eye. That's why instead of people, these beats on my murder. I showed up what's worse, my would you rather see casualties of me casually? Snap on beat speakers quick, drastically. The team in matching tees as we pass the reef. Ask the streets if I ain't playing cool, they be mad with me, cause I'm the one they want to prevail and fail at the same time. That's why I talk about good and bad in the same rhyme with an insane grind. I smoke till I'm super saiyan high, plus divine lyrics. I guess I'm a super saiyan god. MC King Charles, FNYK, the flyest native, you know. Capo.
We welded. As per usual, signs of hope, other signs of not greatness. But hopefully she can look good enough. Like, these ones are really good, so hopefully I see these ones, which I don't think I do. I think it goes like, shit. The oxidized ones are right on the top. That's right. I'm gonna get this basically on this, And then, I don't know, maybe tape that to that or figure out a way to hold that so I can figure out where to cut that. Alright, basically, the two holes here, I think this little hole here should be about where I need to cut it. Because when I put this here to mock it up, come down there, that little hole is about like, hang on, that little hole is basically like center of it. So it should be able to basically bore out and get like this part, which is kind of what I'm going for. I'll run the holes all through here, and then when that goes through here, basically, obviously fuck the cable off, somewhere through here to match it. Then it's just gonna be a big hole, which I may end up running some garden edging or figuring out something to clean it up. I wish I had some 3D printing skills to do it, but no. Yeah, basically, I think that's it. I'm gonna suss it out a bit more and figure out if that's where I'm cutting. We have a hole through the center. It kind of split the plastic a little bit, but that's alright. Now I think I should just be able to put it through and just continue drilling through this to get the right height. Let alone, this is all loose now, which I may need to figure out a way to hold that tight, but that's alright. Yeah, I'm gonna test it to see if it's in the right spot as well. So if I put you here, something like that, get the intake, put the intake there. How does that look? Oh yeah, kinda. Will be a bit more like out here. Yeah, the pod's there. Yeah, that'll do it. That's pretty good. That's not bad. So I got it taped up. I basically just got one of these that was on the pod filter for different sizes, just between it to get the spacing I need. That's taped. That looks pretty as well. I'm happy with all the... I was going to do it out well alloy like I said, but stainless is kind of cool. Other than the weld that's showing is oxidized. Too much heat. But other than that, it looks pretty. And boom. Perfect. Ah, yes. Not bad at all. So, now I probably will clean this all up so it looks a bit better. Like this little bolt thing that's sticking out in there can get cleaned out. And then that is a headlight duct. What do you feel up? In a bloody AU. I don't think I have any garden edging left. But if I can find some, I may suss it out to see if I can make something. But yeah, that's me intake pipe with some bloody headlight duct. I think Che approves. Do you approve, Che? Do you like it? He likes it. Well, I have no garden edging. You know what I do have? I have a lot of 100mm downpipe. Which, basically, I think my plan will be, cut this to a length, I can slide it through the backside, cut this bit on an angle to kind of follow like the headlight curve, and this basically can just get sealed. And that's a headlight duct. I can paint it black. That can go in there. Yeah. Bloody downpipe, mate. I thought about it. I removed the dog. It was probably a little easier. Now, with the Dremel, did I crack the head? No. With the Dremel, I'm just going to keep clearing it out until I can slide this in, which is, oh, that's a fair bit. Shit. I'll show you the back. We're in there. I'll trim it shorter, obviously, but with some time and precisioning, we got a PVC pipe headlight duct. I don't know how I'm gonna fucking paint this thing, but we'll figure something out. Yeah. Okay, so we ended up getting a 4-inch coupler. My mate ended up dropping one off because he went to Autobahn, so got lucky. Fits in there nicely. I mean, it could go in a bit further because I put the 45 there. Can't even really tell there's a bend now. But that's in. Goes down, looks all pretty. Literally, it does sit kind of in the duct, which isn't the worst. This does go in with a little bit of force, which will kind of hold this. been contemplating cutting this shorter, but when this is in, that is definitely airflow into it. And ultimately, I don't have much room. I need to re-clean and organise all this shit again. Oh, bloody spare engine, bumpers, Hilux parts, but ignore it. It doesn't look bad. I kind of like it. Anyway, so this, I do kind of want to figure out, because I'm pretty sure that one's the high beam. I want to figure out if I can put the headlight back in, because this is like perfectly inside where the headlight was. So if I can put the headlight to the side or maybe below this one, just so I can't have it in case I need it. Okay, pipes painted and drying in there. Well, one coat. Gave this all a hose down and a rinse. So this is all clean up. Hole's looking nice and good. Now, I'm gonna give this a wet sand of like 1200. See what happens. Maybe step up to like 2000 and then give it a clear coat and hopefully this gets nice and shiny. So I've separated the lens to the headlight. You definitely don't need to do this, but I had so much dust in places where I couldn't clean that I kind of had to. But I hope it just goes back in. I've never done that before. Alright, this cleaned up. The lens is in there, first coat. While I wait for all this to dry, I'm going to start doing some little things I need to do that don't really matter. Firstly, I got to change this because I've got my return in the bottom, which I probably shouldn't have, so I'm going to change it to the top. And then, I don't know, there's transcooler and a couple things I need to put on, but it's not important to show, so I'm just going to do some little things while I wait. So, yeah, I'll show you the end result of the headlight, once the headlight is headlighted, and how we're going to put the duct in. Now I have a proper return. Unfortunately, the 180 brought it to light there, so we're just a weird 90, but we're good. So this is the finished product. I need to, once this kind of clear dries, I will need a wet sand on it and everything, because this got kind of butchered, but now it got sanded back and bloody cleared again, but it's going to be a bit cloudy and everything, so a bit of wet sand will clear it up once it's done. Here I had to make a black ring because I ended up bogging in here, which kind of made that one piece and all pretty, but the bog seeped through, as you can probably tell if I go like that. So I made a black ring. But all in all, it doesn't look too bad, especially once it's wet sanded and not cloudy and pretty. But that is the headlight. You'll need to be polished, wet sanded, yada yada. But since it's already setting a bit, the cloudiness is going away. Actually looks pretty good. But then I'll need a wet sand. But that compared to that, much better. But the main thing, my headlight duct. Perfect into the potty. Right down. Suck it in. Not bad. Okay. We got parts. Intercooler. Back speeding rod. Piping kit. Bloody clamps for this thing. But yeah, so basically, I've just been looking at. I don't know how the fuck I'm getting a front mount in this. I've seen some stuff, people put it just behind the bash bar. They notch the bash bar slightly, but I've got a radiator right there. The bar sits like pretty much hard against this. I don't know how, because that used to have some like that shit, but yes. So I think I'm taking this off, drilling the bloody spot welds, and basically making a tubed bash bar, which will hold the radiator, give this more clearance, maybe cut shit out of this. Not the radiator, so front mount. Don't know. We're off. My lower rad mounts, when I say lower rad mounts, it's literally a bar between the top to the bottom. It was connected to the bash bar I kind of got. So I had to cut them, and this is now flapping in the wind. It's gonna have to be rebraced. I may be able to tell you, watch out, there's bloody grinders and shit. I may now be able to bend it back a little bit to get the right clearance I need. This is still a monstrosity. I don't know. Anyway, now I can kind of figure out where the bar goes, figure out where I'm going to put the intercooler, and then, I don't know, probably plate it off, make a bash plate that comes out as far as I can around. The intercooler can go here, radiator, yada yada yada. Yeah. I'm regretting painting the bay so early in this. I didn't know I was going to turbo it and do so much fabrication. I thought once the motor dropped in I was going to get headers and it was done. But now this has all happened, there's been grinding and I've kind of fucked it. But I notched this a bit so the rad can now sit there. Oh no, that's alright. So it's way further back. Before it was out like here. So now I should be able to fit the front mount in here. The tubeness, I believe, yeah, it'll come out again as far as possible as it can into the bar, so that front mount can go behind it, with some mounts back into this, some mounts to catch the bottom of the front mount, and probably some dropper mounts from up here to catch the top. But we got more clearance. Now I just kind of got to mock some stuff up. I may need to put the fenders back on so I can actually hold the bar where it needs to go, and then figure out how the fuck I'm doing this. Oh, it's been some time. When I say I've had to do some extensive cutting, yeah. So, the issue I'm facing currently is we got me end tanks in line with the they're a bit close. We're gonna have to figure out a way around that. My headlights, you won't be able to tell, but normally there's a big thing that sticks out to like here. Yeah, well, that had to get chopped off. Yeah, a fair bit's got chopped off. This though is gonna fit behind the bar. It fits in there. It's behind the headlights. It all is gonna work. The top rad mount will, the top mount will be easy because I can just weld to these mounts. The bottom one, well, I don't know yet because I don't necessarily know how I'm doing my bash bar now because this is here. So we left off here last night. We were thinking about chopping and doing some temporary bars, but I thought about it. I got some new bars. And I picked up a cheap thing on Marketplace. I know these are shit, but you can do like the increments and all that bullshit and make this thing do good enough. I'm gonna try and bend some steel for the fucking first time and make like some stuff. This, like I was saying, you can chop back. It's getting a plate welded to it, then a second plate I can bolt to it so I can take off the front end. And there's going to be a tube which comes around and goes around the front, which is going to be kind of a bash bar thing. And then probably somehow I've got to notch it on a weird notch because, yeah, there's going to be another one that I think goes down and under to act as a rad support to mount the intercooler in the bottom of the rad. Something like that. Oh, and this one, I'm just going to make like an angle bracket which comes off, crossing up, and that's going to mount the top. So I think first I'm going to make the top one so that this can sort of be there. Ooh, don't tap too hard. And then, yeah, so I'm going to get some of the cardboard and figure out what angle bracket I need to make a bracket. Yeah, something like that. Alright, my little template. So I have put like diamonds in, like the photos of my bloody Instagram and stuff, and my arm. This will just like weld in there like that and look all pretty. So I now have a plasma cutter, not a CNC table, so I got freehand this. Other than I can like clamp a level or something down to try to do these lines, the diamonds. I'm trying to figure it out. Never used one before. A little bit of a plate, fancy. I've kind of done it. They're pretty fucking undate. Oh, this one's not too bad. But this one's fucking shit. Doesn't even look like a diamond. But I'm hoping I can file it nice. So I think I'm gonna try and give a file and then cut out the rest, just while it's like more solid and good. But this thing's gangster. I like it. So I cleaned these ones up with a file and a bit of a Dremel, and then I went, I'm an idiot. I got a straight piece of metal and I recut the last ones. That's much nicer. Now I can just give that a quick clean. But all in all, that's right. Now I can get the big straight edge, clamp it along this, cut the straight lines. I'll probably drill the 2 holes first and then clean it all up. And I've made a bloody bracket with some.
It's lit. Just take a look at the drip. You boys gon' get fired in this. Roll a dope, yeah, I'm high as a bitch. Wait, it's lit. Get that little bitch a little tip. Now she wanna suck on the dick. She wanna catch all of the drip. Pull up and I'm loading the clip. New bitch, yeah, stay on my hip. Niggas talking, they not with this shit. Catch a body, you might just get hit. But lately been all about drip. New designer, just look at the fit. And I just blew a bag on my bitch. You got clap, but you don't got the drip. You get money, that's some type of myth. I can blind you, bitch, look at the wrist. For that bag and I might take a risk. Don't get crossed cause you care about a bitch. Pass the Henny, I'm trying to get lit. Trying to get out my body and shit.
Now I just gotta clean it up, because it's a bit rough and everything. I think I went a bit too fast in some spots, as you may have seen. I tried to tap it with the hammer and it didn't come out. But my bracket. So I'm excited, I've never done this before. Go straight in. Well, shit. And then the holes are pretty good lined up. I just need to pull it forward a little bit, which was the plan. And then and basically you're gonna bolt it, put a couple tacks, and then weld it. But I made a bracket, and it looks actually pretty good. Look at that. We're in there, we're bolted on. It actually looks pretty good. So now, unfortunately, I still don't have gas for the MIG welder. So it's gonna have to be flux cord, which is a lot of pretty stuff around here, which I don't want to fuck, which is gonna be interesting, because I gotta weld it, or tack weld it at least when this is on. And kind of this is on the radiator, because that's kind of clamped. So I may just tack weld it for now until I get everything done, like the bar and the bottom mounts, because if I take off the radiator, this is going to change angle. So if I just tack it, hopefully I can keep things clean enough and just put some stuff on. But that's pretty good. I like that. We've got some flux core tacks, mate. So, ding. I've got it. I got some bloody packers under here, so this can't really move. But the question is now, if I take out this, yeah, it's holding itself with just me tack spot. Well, I hope so. But that's pretty gangster. Okay, so now we gotta get into the fun shit, kinda, the scary bit, because I gotta chop my chassis. I don't have a reciprocating saw anymore. I've blown it up, as you do. That's gonna be hard to get out, but I think I'm just gonna do it with a grinder and just cut around. I'm gonna have to unbolt the intercooler. Yeah, just cut around this, and then I'll plate it off. Yada yada yada. Do what I said before. But that is me bracket. Whoosh. Okay, we cut. Now, I think the plan, well, I gotta cut a plate. I gotta cut 2 plates, because one plate's gonna be bigger, because I gotta put the intercooler back on, so I can figure out the height I need to pipe, and it's gonna clear everything. This plate will just plate off this. Next plate will be a little bit bigger and come up here. Before I weld this plate on, and I'll weld some nuts and bolts through them, all that stuff. But chassis has been cut. So I got these plates made up yesterday. Basically, there's 2 of them each side, bolt through, so that this one can be welded to the tube and can be unbolted for the front end. This one gonna be welded to the chassis. And we definitely got pipe clearance, and then that gets welded to the chassis with nuts welded to the back of this. The other one can bolt on, tube around. So I can clean up the holes a little bit. But basically, I'm now going to put the bolts through, tighten it, make sure the plates are nicely lined up, and then weld some nuts to the back. Nice and simple. Then the plate can get welded to that. And then we got to figure out some tube bending. Getting there. I'm still well happy with this. Even though the diamonds aren't perfect, they look better now that they're in dish. Especially like that one. And then obviously, once it's all done, we're going to take intercooler off, radiator off, paint it all, yada yada yada. Like I was saying, there's going to be a tube under the bottom which will mount the intercooler. I don't necessarily know how I'm doing the radiator, because if I just weld it directly to the rad support that I've made, I won't be able to unbolt this. So I don't think about that when it comes to it, but that's a later issue. Right, got one all welded up. Don't mind the flux core splatter, I'll get that a clean up. But now ultimately, yes, I can now, oh, it's nice and warm still. I can now basically I can now thread it and unthread it. So now I'm going to do it to that one too, and then I can weld the plates on. I did in the back a pre-paint. Now I'm just going to bloody weld these to there, bolt these up, and then we'll start bending some pipe. It's going to be exciting. Never done this before, as I mentioned, but we'll figure it out. Won't we, Jay? Jay's. We plated off the dogs. Now I can come in. I've only got 4 bolts at the moment, so just going to put 2 in. Literally, it's hard to do with one hand. Oh. And ultimately, ooh, it's not lined up. Oh wait, one side is, that's right. The plate's not perfect. Just like that. Now I can put one of them on either side. I can bend the pipe from here, out, 90, across, into the other one. With the pipe, I probably won't show this, there's a couple videos out there. But basically, since these things are shit and they like to kink the pipe, I'm gonna basically draw a center line, mark, they say 1 inch increments, which is 25 mil, so I'm just gonna do 20 mil increments, and then you just bend them along the increments to get you 90 degrees so it doesn't kink the pipe. Do that, bend it, around, we'll see how we go. Never done this before, so we'll find out. It's probably going to take some time. Clear my bench, yada yada yada. I will see you once I probably do a bend or halfway through, or I don't know. See how we go. We got our first bend. There's definitely a small amount of kinkage, but yeah, I'll be happier with that. Now, I really was wrong, because the video I watched as well told me the first mark you want to do your bend. Yeah, but that's not fucking true. So, it was meant to be 200. That is not 200 to where I need it to be. So, this bend, I gotta figure out now where I need this to this, and get it right, because I don't have much. Yeah. I did it. So, I was wrong. The end measurement is not right. I'm pretty sure it is, which makes sense. The center measurement will do the center, because I'm sitting at, it's meant to be what, 935, I'm sitting at 860, which I may be able to make work. I'm not sure. I don't really feel bothered to try and bend another one and fuck another tube. So, you know, we're going to see if this works. I'm going to give it a test. I'm going to obviously cut it. But we're going to give it a test and see if I can make it work. Well, alright, trim the length. And I go to test it. I am probably too short. Like, I mean, I could run it right on the edge, but it's definitely not as ideal. Yeah, probably not. Okay, we're tucked on. I can't say if it's level or not, but it follows all the right stuff I'm trying to aim for. That's good. It's pretty solid, even when it's just tacked on in these places, tacked on in these places, not fully bolted, so I think this is going to work. Now, the moment of truth. This bloody pipe that I rent before, can I make it work in here somehow? I mean, I can probably do something like that. It's gonna be a bit, oh no, the piping don't work. I'm gonna see if I can make this work, and we'll say, yeah. If not, well, yeah, I don't know. I did a thing. I may modify this grill because I just don't like the look at the front. But anyway, don't matter. I did a thing. With some minimal, say minimal, half buck ton of cutting, I've got the clearance. Basically, this is what we're looking at. Take the grill off. Unclip my clamp. Take off my fucked up bumper. I put just the intercooler pipes on the side, roughly how they'll be going, just to get some references. But this is what we're looking at. This is just tacked on. I gotta notch the pipe, or attempt to notch the pipe, and get that all tacked on and welded. But I think this is what we're gonna run with. Because then I can mount straight off this onto that, and yeah, something like that. We're tacked on. I did the notch with the bloody grinder. Didn't come out the worst. It's pretty good. That's tacked on. So now, so I've been thinking overnight on how I'm gonna do these. Firstly, I added an extra hole to this, just at the top, because it is bolted at the bottom but not at the top. So like this with downwards pressure would open up this plate because it's only 3 mil essentially. Doubled at 6, so it'll be satisfactory. So that's got another bolt hole, so that can kind of hold it. But come on to here. So the plan is just have a bracket, or like whatever, like the same, essentially the same as this. That butts into this steel, screws into this. Then the radiator, because I was saying I don't know how I'm going to do it to be able to escape this detachable but still welded to this, yada yada yada. So I'm going to do a big 90 type of thing down from it, and that's going to bolt to the same hole. So that essentially that's all held by this, that's held by that, yada 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 yada. But when I unbolt this, it separates the radiator from this as well. So I'm gonna make some cardboard shit, get the plasma cut some steel, weld it on, yada yada yada, and then I believe take it all off, weld it all, paint it, and then it's done. I'll probably leave the intercooler pipe in itself to next video because I wasn't expecting to do all this in this one, so this is sort of drag this one on. That plate all tucked in, so literally just bolted. It's just a long skinny plate with some lightweightness, even though it's already bloody light, but doink, that's done. The intercooler is solid as fuck, and that's just tacked. I'm literally moving the whole car from the intercooler, which is good. So now I'm gonna unbolt the intercooler. I don't actually know how I can get it out without taking out the headlights or taking out the back plate. Yeah, well, somehow I'm going to get out the intercooler so that I can make the brackets that I was talking about from the radiator down into that. And then it can all come off and get welded properly. I'm an idiot. I was using the grinder just to trim something. Grinder kicked because I kind of hit something. I think I need a new radiator. New. Right. Other than me potentially fucked up radiator, I may have got lucky, it may not have cut inside of the core. I highly doubt it. It looks mangled, but I've got to take it off soon anyway, so I'm going to leak test it, and if it still works, we're good. But let's ignore that stupidity. Ow! This is me bracket. Oh, hello, Joe. Excuse me. That's hot. So this goes up underneath. Sorry about that. This goes up and in like that. Welds to them. Follows that line. Bolts in. So tack weld this in, and then we can pretty much take everything off and weld in. It's everything mounted. All tacked on. It's got to be, by far, the most complex bloody... I lost the bloody shifter. Not the shifter, the ratchet. Anyway, this has got to be the most complex rad and intercooler setup in existence. Like, yeah. I like it though. I made some things. But anyway, that's good. So now, it's time to unbolt everything, fully weld everything, give everything a paint, leak test this dog, hopefully pray for the best, so I don't need to buy a new one. Holes perfectly lined up. Nice! Okay, chassis all welded, including up on the fins, so it's got structural. Obviously, since it's all flux core, I'm going to need to wire weld it back when I paint it. But all this is welded, So the welding on this is done. Now to this. Now. So, we're welded. Turn the welder off, but it still goes. Anyway, we're welded. All this is welded. Plate on the front's welded. So, it probably won't end up being the prettiest thing in the world. You can't tell, it's pitch black. This light sucks. I'm going in blind. Alright. All the weld, you will not be able to see. But all the welds, everything's cleaned up, wiped down, all good. Now I can hit these with some paint. And then, bloody clean up the bar, hit it with some paint. And then while that sets for the first coat, I'm gonna leak test this dog. Okay. All this, something like that. All this painted. Looking pretty good. You might be able to see much, but yep. Not bad. So, the front bit, I was going to finish painting. I leak tested the rad. Yeah, rad is fucking gone. So, yeah, I gotta buy a new rad. I'll probably end up remounting the rad just temporarily, just for like... Yeah, well, there's no point. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably mount it temporarily just for like the looks of it and everything. But yeah, rad's gone. Cooked. So, new rad, but I'll finish painting the other bit. I won't be able to put it on tonight because I need everything to set properly and whatnot, but that'd be good. Alright, everything is bolted back up. Bottom plate, top plate, all pretty. It is solid as all hell, which is good. What I wanted. So, now I can bolt everything back on and we're good. I'll temporarily bolt this back on just for the looks at the end, but we're good. Also, look how clean the motor is. Alright. And we are all on, bolted, and I am very happy with it. I reckon it came out sick. It's all solid as hell. Intercooler's solid as hell. Radiator, well, radiator's just very lightly screwed in, 'cause it's a new one. But I like it. Intercooler, dash bar, done. Bounce, done. Intake with checky thingo, done. Not bad. So, that's the end for this one. I'm fucking dying. I'm sick as shit. My ear is gone, but I had to quickly get that shit bolted on so I can edit this and do all them YouTube things. This car is coming out sick. Well, in my point of view, I don't think maybe everyone won't agree. I don't really know. There's not many people who watch these videos yet, but we'll see how it goes. But, like, when you look at it like this, you see a big front mount, you see bloody turbo exhaust out the hood and looking fancy. But, yeah, that's it for this one. Next one is going to be bloody intercooler pipes. I think I said before I was going to plumb the turbo, but probably not yet. I'm going to get the new radiator. We're going to weld some new fittings onto the radiator, do a tight bend, because as I was saying, I hate this. So I'm going to just weld a sharp 90 onto this, and then hopefully this can just be an easier pipe. And yeah, I don't know what I've just done to the camera or if I'm recording, but that's it. If you like, comment, subscribe, all that. We got some cool things coming, as I always say. This thing's almost done. I'm going to be sending the track soon. Yeah. Thank you for watching.